Hello everyone, today we will talk about the transit of Pluto. Transiting Pluto is in square to natal Jupiter. How transiting Pluto in a square with natal Jupiter will behave depends on the position of natal Jupiter. This transit may be more prominent in your life if you already have planets in aspect to your natal Jupiter. But the basics are as follows. When transiting Pluto forms a square aspect to your natal Jupiter, you will experience cathartic events and experiences that will initially disorient your previous system of self-expression. You feel as if you are standing on the edge of a vast stormy horizon. While you stand like that, the desire in you grows, the vision swells, that something in you wants to cross every limit, while an equally strong pressure demands depth, truth, and responsibility. Square does not deny growth, but it certainly tests its foundations so that what spreads can actually last. You want to be freed from the obstacles and responsibilities that have tied you to your current lifestyle. However, your current situation seems to be too limited and closed. Pluto and Jupiter are not in good cooperation. The square gives strength but also misdirects it, so you will hardly achieve your goals, because you lack self-confidence, and others will stand in your way. It is best to avoid power struggles with authority figures, such as your boss, or with institutions, such as the law or the government. With energy that gives you penetration on the one hand, and courage on the other, being unable to take any steps without harming yourself feels claustrophobic. It is certain that now you need to spread your wings, but be very careful about bigger risks and meddling in challenges that promise prosperity, freedom, and adventure. With such a way of thinking and because you now want more freedom so much, you are ready to believe in get-rich-quick projects and take big risks. Keep in mind that Jupiter, the planet of excess and growth, can be overstretched beyond its own limits in this situation. On the other hand, the attacking planet is known for having no limits. Such a combination will cause the situation in your business, in which you caused a rebellion, to expand to a scale and in a way that you did not intend. Other people will provide strong resistance to your projects. Events during the conflict will show you that your opinions are correct, but also reveal where there are flaws in your thinking. Therefore, do not manipulate or pressure people to achieve what you want, even if you are sure that you are right, and on the other hand, take a shortcut or try to game the system, which is very likely to backfire. Activities such as extreme sports will appeal to individuals, promising them excitement and a sense of vitality. But while it's important to respect your desire for excitement, it's equally important to recognize the fine line between passion and recklessness. A conscious effort to stay grounded in these pursuits will provide the balance you need. So embrace this period as an opportunity to understand your deepest desires and how they shape your actions. So approach this transit with conscious intent and a willingness to explore your inner landscape, as you will emerge with a richer, more integrated sense of self. As we have already stated, the tension between transiting Pluto square to natal Jupiter creates a collision between the planet of depth, pressure, and irreversible change and the natal principle that governs reach, self-expression and appetite for more. But what's crucial is that this isn't just about external obstacles, but about deeper fears and control issues that have been quietly driving the series behind the scenes, and now finally demand your attention. So this will lead you into an intensely regenerative, underground growth process. Although you will have to persevere through some difficult situations and dark nights, remember that ultimately this transit will fertilize the expansion of vision. Think of it as Pluto forcing Jupiter to become more authentic and sustainable in its expansion. But be aware of the sensitivity to seeking fulfillment from superficial and external sources. You have the power to significantly improve your life, but you must first seek improvement from within. Avoid excessive zeal and grandiosity. Recognize these impulses as expressions of insecurity in your relationship to power, rather than self-confidence, because it will be an opportunity to adjust your thinking and accept your potential. Transform your approach to growth. Instead of trying to expand quickly, focus on slow, meaningful progress, as Pluto will give you plenty of time. The pressure of this transit lasts up to 6 months. So forget about quick and rash decisions, especially if you are irresistibly attracted to gambling or other high-risk ventures, such as speculative investments, because Pluto's intense energy will distort your judgment, making what seems like a harmless bet grow into a deep obsession. The point is to consider channeling this energy into a creative project where you can safely explore your need for drama and intensity. The transit is ideal for those involved in the creative arts, as this period is fertile ground for revolutionary work. Pluto's transformative power will easily make you dive deep into your creative self, potentially creating something extraordinary. On the other hand, your interactions with children, whether yours or someone else's whom you mentor or care for, are now deeply influential. The power dynamics in these relationships are so intense, and there is potential for you to empower or overpower the youth in your life. The key is to keep in mind how much pressure you are applying now. Engage with them in an open dialogue and give them space to express their thoughts and feelings. This will foster respect and a supportive environment. So you should not force others to think in a certain way, and it is very important to be careful with obsessions and fanaticism, because with this transit there is a very thin line in that. Stay open and let the circumstances speak for themselves. This way you will achieve great growth in expressing yourself exactly as you are, because it will allow the depth to come out.